Welcome back, everybody, for another recap. This is going to be the watch list and the stocks you need to watch headed into next week. Remember, Monday the markets are closed. As for our trades today, it would have been amazing, guys, if we held our 125 shares of TQs, but we broke even here in the morning. This is where the shaded gray area was at around here. You can see that little circle. I thought we were literally going to come back down to 136, but we carried so much momentum above the SMA, and I kind of jinxed myself at 11:01 a.m. here in the Pacific. Our free chat, it's free. Check down the first thing down below. I said NQ will close at new highs, and which we did. So it would have been easy to say in hindsight. Those shares would have paid off, but NQ did close towards the end of the days, especially after they announced the White House offered like a 1.8 trillion stimulus package deal. So that's still in the works, but headed into next week. I know some of you guys even swung some shares. You guys are ballsy for that. I'm going to say that, but look, we had some amazing strength into the going into the close, but we managed to hold right around the 11, I'd say 660 level. That was pretty interesting. That was short a lot of strength, and then we still managed to get back into these little bumps here. It still started propping up, and then it finally took out that high at 11,703, and then it was up from there. So Tesla, these dips here in the morning, guys, have been paying off, and I have been literally missing every single one of them. I can believe it. Pulled back down to 426, and I didn't get in. And as soon as it started spiking here to like the 429, I thought it was too late for me to even get in. But then again, it went all the way to 432, and it didn't even look back, except for this little pullback here to 428, but it didn't come back down to 426. How beautifully midday here at 431. So watch that resistance at 434 headed into the next week. And I always mention, guys, the 460 level is my ultimate prime spot right here. The 460 level right around here, mid 460s. But before we can reach the 460s, we have to break the psychological resistance number of 450s. And of course, as you can see on the 15-minute, the 440. So watch Tesla next week. Apple, one that's been hot on my watch list. I've been talking about the 115 level. This one was another one that did not look back. Look at that strong close into the 117s. Breaking past our midday resistance here at 116. I definitely missed that one. Not too big, not too big of a fan of like this midday choppiness. I'd rather have it like hold 116s. So the best case scenario for this one would have been break past here in the morning to 116, pull back, and then just hold above 116. I don't like how I wasn't able to break past the 116 level, but then again, we still had a very strong close. But it would have been better if we held above the 116 level. Next one, that one of my recent added one on my watch list. I'll cover GameStop right now. Remind me, AMD. But this one's been pulling back. I know this one was also a very, very strong dip by yesterday. Here around the 86, ran all the way to the 88. Now we're pulling back finally under the SMA. Let's look at the 4-hour. I probably wouldn't buy this one. I would have not swung this one. This one could come down all the way down to 80. Definitely going to cross under the SMA on the 4-hour. But then again, you got to give it some break, guys. It's been running all the way from the 72s all the way to the 80s, 7s, 88 mark. So it's going to have to pull back. The next one, Alibaba. I think this was another one. Yeah, I had my alert still. My alert is still here. This one, I was watching this one as a dip buy as well as Tesla. Maybe sometimes I should just feel like I should just focus on one stock and not have like 3, 4 stocks that I'm watching constantly. So this one didn't come back down to this level around right under 280. Well, I'm still gonna leave my alert because this one could definitely pull back the next trading day we have. So this one I'm gonna keep it on watch. I probably wouldn't necessarily chase it like around 302. So I'd probably wait for a pullback on Alibaba. I'm going to stick to my plan on this one. Just wait for a pullback. I'm still going to have my alert. For some reason, for those of you that have Thinkorswim, sometimes these alerts don't go off. And I've noticed it more consistent on my mobile phone. I won't get the notification on my mobile phone. I don't know why that is. Beyond Meat, we're going to pull this one up really fast. Although I think my ideology is still the same on this one. I'd probably wait for this level here. The 160s, 170s, right around here. Again, not a fan of the volume here, but still had that uptrend, but I'm not going to chase it up there. NIO, we're still in the 2150s. We have this great solid breakout past the 2245s. But as for NIO, I'm going to wait to see how it holds around the support, which is the $21 mark. So I'd still rather have it peak up above $21, $22 mark and pull back, but maintain higher lows. So that's probably the key here on NIO is the higher lows we have here. As long as it doesn't break past the $21 mark, it's still very considered bullish on my watch. Let's take a look at SPY. Of course, we had that strong uptrend. Look at this beautiful uptrend on the EMA. Still above SMA on the 330 and the 4-hour. As for the 1-day, here's a spike where we had the Trump announcement. And 346 resistance. Resistance then turned into support. So this is almost like what I wanted Apple to do, but instead Apple did the opposite. It maintained that resistance. So this for SPY, we use that resistance as support. So you guys understand what I mean? So support or resistance here in this case becomes support, or resistance could become support. Support could become resistance, vice versa, both ways. So we held the $346 mark. Let's pull back just a bit on the 15-minute. Still have that solid uptrend. And for that 4-hour, guys, we've been talking about this shaded gray area here early September, 341 resistance. Broken. Higher lows coming off mid or towards the end of September, early October. Higher lows, and then boom, broke past that resistance. So that's why I kind of considered it risky to swing trade anything heading into next week. I mean, we do have a positive stimulant moving the markets right now, but maybe we're probably going to drop to like the 340 market and find some support there. So we'll see, depending on how long you want to hold it. Tesla. We covered this one already, actually. Tesla. I'm still waiting for it. And TWLO was another one that I was eyeing right here at 304, but then I thought it's probably a little overbought. It's probably going to pull back. Nope, it didn't pull back. So this is the perfect case scenario. What I mean, resistance becoming support. Resistance here in the morning at 305 became support here, like 10, 15 minutes after. But not the biggest fan of the volume on this one. That's the only thing that's TWO it's missing. So pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my watch list that I have going on to next week. Again, keep your tight licenses. Stop losses. That's what happened with me on the TQs this morning. We broke even, but I was cutting my losses and keeping a very tight stop loss on this one. So we'll see what happens next week. Definitely 100%. By the time you're watching this video, whether Saturday or Sunday, Monday, we're going to have probably most guaranteed some more news coming out over the weekends. Hence why I don't like swinging over the weekends, guys. You guys are very risky for that. Very, very ballsy. So we're going to probably have some news out that's going to influence next week's trading. So thank you guys. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure you guys slap a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with what you're trading. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the channel next week. Take care.